But no, that takes us to, I think, the most confusing division in the AFC, that being the AFC North. All right. Let's go ahead and start with our boy Lamar Action Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. All right. Ravens finally healthy. If everyone can stay healthy through training camp, I think they will perform so much better because they'll actually have, half of their fucking roster instead of half of them being in the infirmary. They are a solid team. Harbaugh knows what he's doing. Lamar is there to stay. I don't think he's going anywhere. Let's hope they get a contract done soon. I got them going 11-6. I think it's gonna. They are playing it's a tough schedule, and that's how a lot of these AFC schedules are. You look at it top to bottom, like you said earlier, Noah. It's a gauntlet. It is just a gauntlet of gauntlets, and so I got them going 11-6. I think they're gonna do really well. I will say the shock of the shock, I do think they're going to lose to the Jaguars this season when they play there. But we'll get to the Jaguars a little bit later. We'll get to the Jaguars later, Noah. It's called a tease. We'll get to the Jaguars later. All right, bro? What do you think of the Ravens? What?
Okay. I've got the Ravens going 11-6. I like them to win the division.
Yeah.
I think they bounced back after their last place finish last year. Obviously, only a game under 500, finishing last place, being the only team in that division missing out on the playoffs. Granted, Lamar Jackson was injured the last 3 or 4 games. I think he missed 5 or 6 games on the season. If he was healthy the whole season, they probably would have won that division over Cincinnati and made the playoffs, and who knows what could have happened from there. But I've got them going 11-6. Their over-under totals at 9.5, which I think is quite too low.
Yeah, way too low.
As does the public. Public's 76% of the public on the over 9.5, only 24% on the under there. So,
jeez.
I'm surprised it's set at 9.5. That seems low.
No, yeah, it seems very low. Give me the over on that all day. I also have them at 11-6. Going to be a hell of a season for Lamar Action Jackson. I do not think they're winning the division, though, Noah. I don't. I think this next team, the Cincinnati Bengals, are winning this division. I think they are going to come out better than ever. I think they have something to prove. Joey B does not like to lose, and he will not lose this division. Simple as that. I got them going 13-4. They beefed up the O-line, and that was the biggest issue. They still got Jamar Chase. You still got that good defense out there. They beefed that up, too. Give me the Bengals going 13-4.
Yeah, I mean, I've got the Bengals going 11-6 as well as Baltimore. I've just got Baltimore winning the division on a tiebreaker.
Fair.
I think they finished with the same record there at 11-6. Bengals also coming in at 9.5 on the over/under.
Disrespectful.
This one, I think the biggest split that the public has, the biggest one-way, heavy one-sided bet. 86% of the public on the over 9.5, only 14 on the under. It makes sense, though. 9.5 seems a little disrespectful for a team that came very close to winning the Super Bowl and has gotten better in the offseason.
Yeah, a lot better in the offseason. No, this next team we're going to talk about, honest to God, I do not know. I didn't put in a record. I don't know what they're going to win. I'm talking about the Brownies. I couldn't. I tried looking at this and being like, they'll lose. But if he's playing this week, that's a different story. And then you get later, it's like, well, we don't know how many games Jacoby's going to start or what's really happening there. So I don't have a prediction for the Browns whatsoever. It's a solid roster. It's a good roster. However, if Jacoby Brissett is taking half the snaps for the season, what do you think about this? I have nothing, though.
Yeah, I mean, I could also leave this one alone. As of, 2 weeks ago, their win total was at 9.5. Obviously, that's been removed from pretty much every book. They don't even have a win total up right now because if Watson's the day one starter, the week one starter somehow, which I don't believe he will be, but if he is, I could see them keeping that win total at 9.5 or 10.
Yes.
If he's suspended the entire year, it probably drops to like 6 or 7. I'm just going to take a very conservative approach and throw 7 and 10 at them, not knowing what's going to happen. Yeah, that's so up in the air. I don't know.
No.
We'll see.
No idea. It's going to be that'll be something we continue to cover and continue to watch. Got something else?
I will say my prediction, though, is I do think Deshaun Watson's going to get suspended. And if he does get suspended for half the year or especially the whole year, I think they finish last in this division.
Unless they bring in Jimmy G.
I don't think they can afford to do that, can they?
Deshaun's only a $1 million hit this year.
Oh, well, okay, maybe.
Yeah, they structured the contract so he only gets paid $1 million this year, and then they pay him the rest of his salary the rest of his time.
Shit. All right. Well, I don't know. I don't really see that happening because I like I covered in whatever episode or live that was. I do think the Niners are going to hold on to Jimmy G because they don't trust Trey Lance.
100%. And we'll get into the NFC later this week, obviously. Last team in the AFC North I want to talk about, Noah. Well, we can talk about Noah. It's the Steelers, and that's definitely the team I think in the AFC with the biggest question mark. They lose their franchise quarterback, who really was more detrimental than helpful in the season. And now they bring in Mitch Trubisky, who was, he did take the Bears, to his credit, to the playoffs. He played well when he was asked to, when Josh Allen wanted to sit down and take a breather.
When the Bills were up by 30.
Yeah, when the Bills were up by 30, but he didn't lose the lead, so there's something to be said about that. The biggest thing that is missing is Juju Smith-Schuster, but I don't think that's going to be too much of a hit to that offense. I think they're going to play solid ball. I think they're going to be 9-8. I think they might make the playoffs barely or miss the playoffs barely, but yeah, I got them going 9-8 and doing pretty good.
AJ, I also have them going 9-8 for pretty much one reason and one reason only. And that's Mike Tomlin refuses. He refuses to go under 500. He's had, 15 years now after last year? 15 or 16 straight years he's been in the league. He's never had a season below 500. He's had, obviously last year they went 8-1, finishing right at 500. Before the league went to 17 games, I think once or twice before he finished at 500, but he's never finished below 500. I thought about picking the Steelers to go 8-1 again. Because it does seem like there's one or two ties every NFL season.
Yes, always. And it somehow involves the Lions.
Usually, yeah. or the Vikings. Or the
Vikings, yeah.
Or the Bengals. The Bengals are another notorious team
love the tie, yeah.
And Washington's the other one. Those are the four main pillars of somehow figuring out a way to tie a game. Either way, I'm picking the Steelers at 9-8.
Yeah.
I like them finishing third in the division, probably just missing out on the playoffs by about a game. They're over under at 7.5. People are very torn on this one. 55% of the public on the over, 45 on the under. So this one's, a lot of people torn on this, and I don't think people should be as torn as they are. It's Mike Tomlin, like I said. I don't think it matters. The quarterback play they were getting out of Big Ben was not great by any mark last year.
No.
Granted, the leadership, there is something to say about the leadership, whether or not the play on the field was there. I don't think, whether they go with Trubisky or even Kenny Pickett, I don't think they have a huge downgrade in quarterback play. They might not have the same level of leadership, but luckily they have Mike Tomlin as their head coach, and I think he makes up for that, and I think they'll be fine. I think they'll be okay. They'll be right around 500. I think a game over.
I do think, though, the renaming of the stadium is going to hinder them a little bit because no one and their mom can pronounce that name, bro. Have you, Assyrian? Is that what we're calling it? Assure? It's not Assure, but do you know what it's called?
Yeah. All I know is it's not ketchup.
It's not ketchup anymore, which, the people of Pittsburgh on Twitter right now are not stoked about that. But and they're not stoked about the name either. But anyway,